Do I sound like a normal human being? So I'm Joe Salmon. I'm the candidate in the Headingley Award in these local elections. First of all, I'd just like to thank everybody for turning out. It's a really great turnout we've had. And you should also be thanking Gavin. It's thanks to Gavin that this event has really gone ahead, so I think he deserves a round of applause. I really want to thank you all as activists. This week we've seen the second of the historic TV debates where we've seen three fantastic outsider female politicians challenge our existing Westminster millionaire political elite, and that was very nice to see. Now, we've achieved that without resorting to the politics of the gutter that we see employed by the other parties, and that I think we will see employed more and more as this election goes on. Now, a lot of you, I think, will be forgiven for maybe thinking that this election is a big choice between the two big parties. Now, I don't think that is the choice. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right for three reasons. Firstly, I think it's wrong to describe them as the two big parties. If you look at the membership of the Green Party, if we continue to grow at the rate we've been growing, by the time of the next election, we would be by far the biggest political party in the UK. And I think that would also make us one of the biggest ever collective, collaborative, egalitarian undertakings ever attempted in history. Secondly, in terms of the two bigger parties, the reason we're able to put on events like this is because of our massive activist base. The other parties do not have that. We are already, in very real terms, in terms of activists on the ground, we are by far the biggest party. You may have noticed the literature you get through from the other parties. That's all delivered by mail shot now, pretty much. And when it's not delivered by mail shot, my housemate, he's turned down work delivering leaflets for the Labour Party for £70 a day. The other parties do not have the activist bases we have. So in two very real senses, it's not just a choice between the two big parties. What I will have to do to explain the third reason is I will have to confess something to all of you. And that is that when I talk with my friends, with my family, with people I know, with people on the doorstep when I'm canvassing, we will talk about maybe problems that we face, or they'll ask me questions and I do not have any answers. Now that's something that used to scare me, but it doesn't scare me anymore, and it hasn't scared me since I became part of the Green Party and part of this community. And that's because I realised that actually there's a very simple, straightforward answer, straightforward formula, method for solving these seemingly impossible problems and for answering these seemingly impossible questions. And that's where you simply begin an open and honest dialogue with all people involved, where we can all be upfront about what the root causes of those problems and those questions are, and what we're prepared to do to implement those solutions. And I've been lucky enough since joining the Green Party not only to have found some of the answers to what I thought were unanswerable questions, some of the answers our wonderful speakers have described this afternoon. I've been part of implementing those solutions, which has been wonderful. And the real difference between us and the other political parties is that when it comes to questions they don't have the answer to, those questions don't exist. If you look at that literature you receive from the other parties, if you listen to them in those debates, they have all the answers already. There are no questions that they don't have the answers to. Those problems don't exist. That's why if you're somebody who, because of the bedroom tax, you're torn out of your community, you're moved out of your traditional home, you moved away from the support networks you have, and you begin to suffer from depression, you begin to suffer from social anxiety, and you go to the doctor and you need help, instead of being given access to the talking therapies that really would assist you, instead you're given a medical cure that's no help at all. And in the mainstream political parties, that problem's not real, that question's not real. That problem simply doesn't exist. If you're someone who's a recent graduate and you're in so much debt, and we have a system of property ownership in this country that means you will never live somewhere that you can truly consider your own home, to mainstream political parties, that problem's not real. That problem simply doesn't exist. If you're somebody who is, because of the regime of sanctions and benefits in this country, a regime of sanctions and benefits that will continue regardless of the government that's elected this May, unless that government is a Green government, system of sanctions that will continue unless we have a Green government after May. If you're in absolute poverty because of that, not relative poverty, where it's simply that you are a lot worse off than your neighbour. If you're in absolute poverty where there is no food in your house, no money in your bank account, and literally no food in your stomach, the state that some people have died as a result of sanctions have been found literally with no food in their stomach when this has gone to the coroner's inquiry. If you're one of the people in that situation, that problem simply isn't real. That problem doesn't exist. And arguably even more alarmingly, we are a civilization currently that exists beyond almost every known ecological limit we're aware of. Every known ecological limit we are aware of, we are breaking currently. Now that's something that threatens us as not just as a civilization, as a country and as a society and as a community, but that threatens us as a very species. Now, apparently to the mainstream political parties, that problem isn't real, that problem doesn't exist. Now I think the real choice we face is not a choice at this election, and it's not a choice between different political parties. It's a choice that we will be making after the election, and it's a choice that we'll be making before the election. And it's a choice you've made today. It's a choice as to whether or not we will stand together and we will come together and we will begin asking the questions that seem like unanswerable questions and tackling the problems that seem like impossible problems. And I really genuinely do want to thank you all for coming out today and being part of this event, because this is the way we reach a solution and we answer those questions. What I'd like to do in a second, because I can see there are a lot of new people here. We do a lot of very hard work in Headingley. Headingley, we are heading to an electoral victory. We are heading to an electoral victory in Leeds North West, and we are heading to many electoral victories around the country. So I'd like to give you all my telephone number. I would like you all to please take my contact details, take my email address and my telephone number. If you can help us do good in Headingley, please get in touch with me. If you think we can help you do good elsewhere, please get in touch with me. Oh yeah, have any questions? There's all the literature at the back as well. It's got all the details. But if anybody does want to contact me, my telephone number, if you want to make a note, is 07443 649879. You can email me, Joe Salmon 1985@gmail.com or leedsgreenparty@gmail.com. Please get involved. And thank you again for attending this event and making it a reality.